Good morning, students. Uh, Today, I'm Arindam Bag here. So, today our topic is comic relief. As you can see in the screen, in your screen actually, that the topic is, the it is at the end, here. So, let us move to our topic as we do. So, first, I'm using M.H. Abrams' Dictionary of Literary Terms, this particular book. So, comic relief is the introduction of comic characters, speeches, or scenes in a series of tragic work, especially in drama. So, it's a very common thing used in any dramas, and such elements were almost universal in Elizabethan tragedy. Yeah, I hope you remember that particular scene from Macbeth, which is known as Porter scene. That is also an example of comic relief. Sometimes they occur merely as episodes of dialogue or horseplay for purpose of alleviating tensions and adding variety in more carefully wrought plays. However, they are also integrated with the plot in a way that counterpoints and enhances the series of tragic significance. Examples of such complex uses of comic elements are the gravediggers in Hamlet. Yep, that is also another instance of comic relief. Then you have this particular scene which I have mentioned earlier uh, in Macbeth. They have We have this Porter scene and the Falstaff scene in Henry IV and the roles of Marquito, the old nurse in Romeo and Juliet. So this is what comic relief means. That means some comic characters, comic speeches or scenes which will be fabricated or which will be used in a drama for some particular reason, such as um, for the purpose of horseplay, alleviating tension because it might happen. You may, if you analyze Macbeth, you will see that before some serious scenes, these kinds of comic reliefs were used, such as the discovery scene in Macbeth, where Duncan was found that he is dead. Before that scene, you have this Porter scene. Okay, so in Act 2, Scene 1, I guess you have this dagger scene where Macbeth is going to commit a sin or a crime. He is about to kill Duncan. And after that, even at that point, if you read that text, you will find that there is a knocking, the mention of knocking at the gate. And then you have this Porter scene. Then Macduff appears and found the king is dead. So then the tension is alleviated again. So even in Gravedigger scene, also in Hamlet, you will find that Ophelia, who was killed, she committed suicide. So Hamlet was at the graveyard, and there were grave diggers who were actually digging graves for actually for Ophelia. Hamlet didn't realize that, and after that, it was found that Ophelia's body was brought to that place for the purpose of cremation, for the purpose of you know their rituals. So these scenes are often designed or placed before some serious or some ghastly scenes to help the audience get bit of relax and then to enter the next scene, which is much more serious. So we are going to use another book for this purpose. So here it is. Let us find what we have here. um, Here it has been clearly mentioned that comic relief is a humorous scene in tragic drama or fiction that has the effect of temporarily altering the mood of the play and thereby relieving the tension. Yes, that's the foremost important thing. Relieving the tension created by the previous, incidents or the tragedies what happened earlier. These types of comic characters often help us to get to the story, because it is sometimes it is very hard to continue watch tragic scenes in front of us. Rather, we need some relaxation so that we might see or enjoy the next scene. So these are like, it's like a kind of break. The term is a misnomer insofar as it suggests a lessening of the tragic effect. It has been employed by Shakespeare in the gravedigger scenes in Hamlet. I mentioned about the drunken porter's episode in Macbeth, already mentioned in the previous book, and I already mentioned in my lecture. The commentary of the fool in King Lear. This one is new. King Lear has also this, comic relief. The drunken porter. Oh, sorry, my bad. Comedy intensifies the tragedy by permitting us to see the tragic action from an alternative point of view. Yes, that's very important for us. Comedy, this kind of comedy intensifies the tragedy by permitting us to see the tragic action from an alternative point of view. Yeah, that that really helps. Watching a tragedy closely, if you do not have any relief in that, then it will be a disaster. Rather, if you put those tragic incidents in a particular time gap, in a particular time frame, with the use of comedy, then the tragedy becomes intense, and it also helps us to understand the tragedy from a different perspective. The gravedigger's comment, he began digging graves on the same day that our last king overcame Fortinbras. That very day that young Hamlet was born, he that is mad and sent to England reconceives the entire action of the play from the perspective of the common man. If you read Hamlet, you will realize uh, the entire thing, the incident, whatever we're about to experience or we already experienced in Hamlet. You need to understand every incident has different point of view or perspective. The person who are involved in that incident or in that story, they see things in a different way. Common men, like grave diggers, they consider it or they analyze the incidents in a different light. So that's why you can see that the very day that young Hamlet was born, he that is mad and sent to England. So they are describing Hamlet as mad, reconciles the entire action. Yep. It helps us to understand the play in a better way. It is not one dimensional, I must say, it's two dimensional. The common man's view and the people involved in it, the main characters, we have both of their views. Another form of comic relief occurs in the ironic juxtaposition of the comic and tragedy. Tragic. A master of this technique in fiction is the American short story writer Flannery O'Connor, whose comic characters frequently meet tragic ends. So this is another example also Flannery O'Connor. A good man is hard to find, for example. The main character undergoes transformation from a comically smug manipulator into tragic but redeemed figure a moment before she is murdered. So there has been a reference to Flannery O'Connor, and his short story is A Good Man is Hard to Find. In that example, we can see the character has been transformed. He's a comic character, but he's a smug manipulator and ultimately, uh, uh, but redeemed figure a moment before she is murdered. She has been murdered. So apparently she's been killed. So this is what we have comic relief. Now let us move to the website I normally use. So here we have a definition. Comic relief usually means a releasing of emotional or other tension resulting from a comic episode. Yep, that's very important. Interposed in the midst of serious or tragic elements in drama. Sometimes it happens like Porter scenes. If the Porter scene was not there, there would be not no gap between the murder and the discovery. So there should be a gap so that the audience might accept the next gruesome incident which happened. you know so that's why releasing of emotional or other tension resulting from a comic episode, that is why it is important. Comic relief often takes the form of bumbling work wisecracking sidekick of the hero or villain in a work of fiction. Obviously it doesn't mean that comic relief will always involve the protagonist or the main character here or the villain itself. It might be conducted by any other minor characters which appears as sidekick, or you know like a common man that could be used. You won't find that character again in the drama. They will not reappear. So sidekick used for comic relief will usually comment on the absurdity of hero's situation and make comments that would be inappropriate for a character who is to be taken seriously. Yeah. Sidekick is someone who, like, the main character, uh, which has some with him a different character, not so very great, but like an assistant who might comment on this. And some comment will may look like the hero is doing absurd things, the protagonist is not doing things correctly in a particular order. So we might find that also. And other characters may use comic relief as a means to irritate others to keep themselves confident. That can be also done. So that will be all for today regarding comic relief. I believe I have only one topic left for you. I hope that will be concluded very soon. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. When I analyzed my video, I found that only 50% of my viewers, they actually subscribe my channel, and rest of the 50% didn't even bother to do that. So this is my honest request to you. Please subscribe my channel and help me to grow my channel. Thank you again. Goodbye.